Josh Jones is going to go all the way. Touchdown, Los Alamitos.
45 yards, Quentin Jones.
Set that, go back to 3.
Childs picks up a block, has a little bit of running room, cuts it in.
Touchdown, Los Al.
The most storied high school crosstown rivalry in Orange County history. These two teams matched up in the Empire League. They match up now in the Sunset League. National championship hopes have been dashed. Division titles and league titles have been decided with this very game. It can only mean one thing. It's the Aztecs of Esperanza taking on, at Long Beach Veterans Memorial Stadium, the Los Alamitos Griffins. Hi again, everybody. Fritz Pollard, Ron Cluey, John Bowles, happy to have you along with us as LATV proudly presents its Game of the Week, and it does not get any better than this. The Aztecs and the Griffins have been renowned as a huge matchup, and it doesn't matter what the records are when they come into the game. The Aztecs with a 4-4 record, struggling Los Alamitos with only one loss. Let's start with the Griffins. Ron Cluey, I guess you throw records out when it comes to this game.
Absolutely right, Fritz. I mean, this is a game. It doesn't matter who's winning, who's losing. This is rivalry week. All across the Sunset League. Tonight it's Los Alamitos, Esperanza. Tomorrow night it's Edison versus Fountain Valley in the Bell game, and then it's Marina Huntington Beach. But tonight for Los Alamitos, they have to play like they did last week. Come out firing hard, establish the run game, and then strike when the opportunity is right with the pass. Esperanza this year has gone to a wing T. It's a different offense for Los Alamitos to see. It's not like the double wing that Myron Miller runs over there at Tustin, but it is a very tricky offense at times, and Los Al's defense is going to have to adjust to it. What I expect to see tonight, you're going to see Josh Jones running hard again. Los Al's bringing the big boys on the O-line tonight again. Same setup as last week, although there's one change. Alex Main will now start at the right side tackle in lieu of Tom Murphy. Both teams want this tonight, and it's going to be a good battle the whole night long.
Well, and this game usually is a battle, and let's look at the two junior quarterbacks. You have Barnes on the Los Al side. You got Grant Farrell on the Aztec side. Is that a key to tonight's game?
I think it is, Fritz. I love the way Jimmy was able to settle in last week, let the running game take the pressure off of him. But Esperanza has gone to this wing T, and last week they really didn't show a lot against Edison. They lack the athleticism, I think, that we've seen from Carson and Tustin schools that have run it before. They're playing into the strength of the Los Alamitos defense, and I think that'll be the key test for Grant Farrell. Wesley Williams is his go-to guy. He leads the Aztecs with 12 touchdowns, 8 of them through the air, which really kind of doesn't add up when you talk about the wing T. But you know what, throw it all out. It's Esperanza, Los Al. Congratulations to the girls volleyball team and the boys water polo team. They both notched victories this week over Esperanza, so rivalry week's off to a good start.
Well, very good. It is always a great matchup. Don't go away. We're going to take our seats upstairs. When we return, the Aztecs and the Griffins going to get it teed up here on LATV.
This edition of the LATV3 Game of the Week is brought to you by the friends and family of the Griffin Football Booster Club. If you're looking for the best barbecue on the planet, you can find it at the Naples Rib Company, serving the Long Beach community for over 20 years. And by
There can be many hurdles to securing a home loan. Credit impairments, income documentation issues, unusual property. At Home Loan Online, we specialize in mortgages with flexible programs and creative options to address whatever financial situation you're in.
At Home Loan Online, we will meet all of your financing needs.
Visit us on the web or in our offices in Seal Beach on Main Street.
By the College Park Mobile in Seal Beach. For all your automotive needs, stop by the College Park Mobile Station. And by
Selman Chevrolet has been North Orange County's volume leader for over 50 years. We start with the lowest prices. We offer a huge selection of brand new Chevrolets and give you world-class service after the sale. Selman Chevrolet on the corner of Custon and Chapman, just off the 55 freeway in Orange.
by Farmers and Merchants Bank, California's strongest bank. Call today or stop by our Rossmore branch on Seal Beach Boulevard. And by the Newport Rib Company, home of the best barbecue on the planet, serving the Orange County community for over 20 years.
It isn't an order or a command. Protocol doesn't require it. The oath of enlistment doesn't refer to it. So why do sailors devote so much time to helping Americans in need? To instituting programs on their behalf? Because when you're in the Navy, you go wherever the battle is.
There are a few things you need to do to make your home safe for you and your family. Like setting your water heater at 120 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent burns, and installing smoke alarms outside of bedrooms. If your home was built before 1978, have it tested for lead-based paints. Did I mention proper wiring?
For a free brochure on HUD's Healthy Homes and to learn how an FHA loan can help you buy a home, just call.
HUD and FHA are on your side.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Long Beach Veterans Memorial Stadium, site of Week 9 high school football action. And there you see it, the Los Alamitos Griffins and the Aztecs of Esperanza. And it does not get any better than this matchup when you talk about Orange County football, Ron Cluey.
No, you think of all the great games in the past, Fritz. I mean, it has been such a close series. I think if you look at the total point differential between the two teams over the years they've played, it's less than 20 points total point differential. And right now, Los Al holds a very slight two-game edge on the winning differential for the whole series. One thing also is Los Al tonight needs to bring out that strong running game that they showed last week with Josh Jones just establishing a great run throughout the whole game and gave it an excellent effort, along with his O-line that opened huge holes for him. The other thing, too, tonight is that you'll be seeing also the return of Jeremy Childs back at wide receiver off of his slight shoulder injury last week, so that should even open up more options for Los Alamitos tonight.
Well, and when you look at Los Alamitos, the adjustments they made after their loss, we saw them pan out against Huntington Beach, and I think we saw the emergence of a running back that will be here for the remainder of the season.
Yep, I agree, Fritz. Okay, let's look at the league standings right now, folks. Okay, still on top, Fountain Valley 3-0. With an overall of 6-2. Of course, they have a big game coming up tomorrow night with the Bell game with Edison. Los Alamitos and Edison tied at 2-1. Esperanza at 1-2, along with Huntington Beach and Marina bringing up the bottom of the league with a 0-3 record. But I'll tell you what, I think things are going to change tomorrow night, Fritz, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I mean, Edison looks like a very, very strong team this year. I mean, Los Al, to be honest, really did get a very lucky win over the Edison Chargers.
Well, and then maybe fumbled away the game against Fountain Valley. Los Alamitos surely beat themselves in that only loss. And then, of course, we had the weather that moved in, which created one of the strangest end-of-the-game finals we have ever seen, with visibility at about 20 yards.
Yeah, if that much. Okay, tonight's officials: referee Sal Figueroa, umpire David Nelson, head linesman Bill Earhart, line judge Gerald Molina, back judge David Chacon. And one thing I'd like to say is thank you for the referees for showing up. You know, people always talk about, well, gee, the referees could do a better job. But you know what, folks? If those guys don't show, we don't have a game.
There you see Los Alamitos being introduced. Coming in, number 21, Antoine Cason. Followed by number 22, Chad Dunn. Also coming in, Jeff Minter.
DJ Dykes will be starting tonight at the safety position. And the rest of the Los Alamitos Griffins, 7-1 so far on the season. That only lost to Fountain Valley, hoping for Los Alamitos to finish out with 2 more wins, and very likely what we're probably going to see is a tie for the first or second spot here in the Sunset League, which could be interesting in the seeding for the playoffs.
Yeah, you could have a 3-way tie again if Edison does beat Fountain Valley tonight or tomorrow night, and then you'd end up with a 3-way tie. All 3 teams, having beaten each other once, which you then go into a coin toss situation. And Los Al was in that situation, I think, about 3-4 years ago, and actually ended up going out as the 3rd seed on the league because they lost the tosses. To be honest, looking at the Division I this year, you really do want to go out as a number 1 seed because that could be a fairly easy road to the finals.
Well, and as we've seen in many years past, when you finish in the top seed, you're normally going to play a lower seed team to get things started. And for Los Alamitos, if they do go to a coin flip, it really is anybody's guess who they may match up against. And, for a team admittedly trying to find their stride, they would really like to play a 3rd-seeded team if at all possible.
Yeah, but Fritz, you got to look at the Sarah League. 3rd-seeded team out of that league could be a Loyola or a Modern Day.
I hear you. Well, back deep for Los Alamitos, number 9 is Skandrick, and Chad Dunn, number 22. They stand on their own 3-yard line. And kicking off is Steve Bentham, and we are underway. That one will sail into the end zone as Skandrick backpedals, and this will come out to the 20-yard line to get things started.
Yeah, nice kickoff there. Okay, let's look at the Los Alamitos offense. Jimmy Barnes at QB, Josh Jones and John Hale back again as the running backs. Brian Gordon, DJ Dykes, Jeff Minter as the receivers. And then that big offensive line, Dan Rollins, Cameron Filkins, John McDaniel, Andrew Espinoza, and Alex Main is the newcomer, averaging 111 yards rushing, which is very good rushing for this team.
And there you have the Aztecs. We're going to get things started. Jimmy Barnes going straight to the air and overthrows Jeremy Childs to get things started on 1st down.
Yeah, one of the things I expect to do tonight, Fritz. Okay, let's go back to the Aztecs defense. We have Downs, Carl, Dan, and Boblet on the defensive line, Roger Stone, Kretschmer as the linebackers, and then Williams, Howell, Redden, and Davis as the safeties and cornerbacks. 1.9 sacks per game, and they're averaging just a little over 1 interception per game. So these guys are used to seeing a pass come at them.
Well, and their big hitter, Ryan Taloa, out. And we are going back to the ground, and that is very nice pickup there by Josh Jones.
Yeah, nice effort by Josh on that play. Got hung up a couple times by guys and just kept pushing. Mike Stone making the tackle there for Esperanza. Good effort for a good start. And looking at that initial pass by Jimmy Barnes, I'm sure one of the things that Coach Barnes has got to be telling him tonight is, hey, I know it's Esperanza, it's rivalry week. Stay calm, stay cool out there. This is a big deal, but keep it under control.
Well, in that first series, very important to get those butterflies flying in formation. This will bring up a 3rd down and 1. I formation, give it to the running back, and that is Josh Jones. He needed to get out across the 30. Looks like he'll be very close.
Tyler Bobbitt on the tackle there for Esperanza. Jones does a nice push on that play. Give a little bit of credit to Los Al's O-line also to open up enough of a hole for him.
Well, there's been a lot of experimenting and moving around on that O-line. Dan Rollins, Filkins, McDaniel, Espinoza, and Alex Main making his first start of the season, although he did see some playing time last week. Fresh set of downs for Barnes, goes back to the air, and Barnes a little bit out of sync with his receivers. That one intended for number 9, Skandrick.
Orlando Skandrick, yeah, nice coverage there by number 7 of Esperanza, Mike Kirshner. He had a good tight coverage on him. Jimmy trying to throw a little bit to the outside and just threw a little bit too far.
Jimmy Barnes, 94 of 174 for 54% completion ratio, 1,362 yards. The number that really creeped up in the Fountain Valley game was the interceptions. He's now up to 9, but thrown 13 touchdowns. So Jimmy Barnes continuing to improve every week as he fakes the handoff, throws the ball downfield, and that is picked off. So Jimmy Barnes starts off a little shaky, throws it immediately into the hands of number 20, Adam Hill.
Yeah, and that's a nice tackle there by John Hill on that. Okay, what's what we've alluded to before. Let's watch the replay. Quarterback has to settle down. I mean, when you see a quarterback consistently throwing high, it means he's pumping the ball too hard. And here we watch. Jim Barnes has time to set up and just way overthrows his receiver on that play. Adam Hill comes up with a nice interception.
Well, I'll tell you what, as we go quickly back to action here, it looked like Skandrick was purposely maybe letting that ride high because it was thrown above him, maybe thinking that there was going to be a receiver behind him. There we go with the offense for Esperanza. Farrell, your halfbacks, Williams, Kretschner, your fullback is Irwin, tight end Downs, and then you've got your wide receiver who got the interception, Adam Hill, and then your line, Stone, Altergott, Gray, Hamilton, and Bush.
Oh, Los Alamitos, nice play there. Chris Cherie had the tackle on the last play. Kevin Linehan this time snuck through and got a sack on the quarterback. Yeah, one of the things that was impressive there. Well, let's go through Los Al's defensive side. Chris Cherie, Tom Leonetti, Kevin Linehan, James Dolis on the defensive line. Quinn, Rados, and Clark as the linebackers. Great linebacking core. Dunn, Kason, Minter, and Dykes. Very fast defensive secondary for Los Alamitos. Now, as I was alluding to, Fritz, I mean, 212 yards rushing, 178 yards passing per game for Esperanza. That's a pretty phenomenal offense.
Farrell going to roll out to buy some time, gets around the corner. He's going to tuck it under and go. Gets out just a yard short, it would appear, of the first down.
Yeah, and Farrell did a nice job on the rollout there because it looked like Los Al had a defensive end penetrate who had a shot at the tackle in the backfield for a sack. But Farrell eludes, comes upfield. DJ Dykes has to make the tackle, but now it's 4th and 1. My guess here is Ed Esperanza is going to go for this. I mean, I'm not sure they have a kicking game this year, Fritz.
Well, they've only got 2 field goals, so I'm going to guess not. 9-10 left here in the first quarter. Lots of action early on. And they're going to just power it forward. Should have enough for the first down.
Yeah, good quarterback sneak there by Esperanza. Farrell just drives forward behind his center and guards, gets the yardage, and now they have 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line of Los Alamitos.
Has a rather light offensive line. You've got Stone at 235 as Chris Cherie is in on the stop. Altergott at 225. Your center is your anchor at 270, that being Matt Gray. And then Hamilton at 210 and Bush at 230. So not a huge offensive line, but we would expect them to be rather quick.
Yeah, the thing in wing T is you need a very mobile offensive line.
Going to keep this one on the ground. Pickup of 3 on the play.
Nice job by Rados and Quinn on that to come up and make that tackle. Nice job also by Los Al's D-line. Wesley Williams was the running back on that one. D-line filled the holes, and the thing is on the wing T, they're going to keep stringing down the line at you, and you got to do almost like you played the double wing. You've got to have guys fill the holes, let the linebackers come up and make the plays. Los Al knows how to play defense against this type of offense.
Well, we're going to be calling number 4, Wesley Williams' name a lot tonight. He has 788 yards in the air and 245 on the ground. Farrell looking for an open receiver, gets it out, throws into traffic.
Nice job by DJ Dykes on that play. Nice knockdown. Farrell had plenty of time on the rollout. Mike Davis was the intended receiver, and you see what part of what Esperanza is doing tonight. They're going to try and use the rollout to gain time for their QB. They recognize there's a strong rush coming at them, but Los Al just had 5 DBs back in position there. I mean, they were perfectly set up on that play. Farrell got lucky he actually wasn't intercepted on that play.
Adam Hill checks in, number 20, at that wide receiver spot. 275 yards in the air for him. Running for his life is Farrell. Breaks a tackle. Now he's coming back the other way, and nice tackle there coming up.
Chris Rados with
from the linebacker
tackle.
position. Wow, he came out of nowhere.
You got to hand it to Chris Rados. You got to hand it to Los Al's D-line first off to do a great job of stringing him out, but Rados just comes up like a missile lock on that one. I mean, great tackle. Now we've got a field goal attempt from the 32-yard line for Esperanza. This will be a 42-yard field goal attempt.
Well, Steve Bentham steps in. He's only made 2 all year. This may be his 3rd. That is up and good. So the Aztecs of Esperanza put the first points on the board on the turnover by Jimmy Barnes. And there you see it, 3-0 with 7:25 left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, let's watch this scramble again. Here we have a replay coming up. There you see man in motion. Farrell fakes the handoff. There we got Dolis charging in on that. Then we got another player there for Los Al. Farrell coming back across, and then watch this. Rados, just great hit. puts his head and shoulders right into it and just takes him down for the loss.
2 sacks on the year for Rados, 14 tackles before tonight's game, and 1 fumble recovery. So he gets all over the field at 5'10", 185 pounds. And, you know, really when you look at Grant Farrell, you think maybe he should have thrown that ball away, but he was able to elude at least the huge loss and still set up for the field goal. So we reset the table. Skandrick and Dunn set up back on their own 3-yard line. And Steve Bentham is going to send it downfield, and Los Alamitos will get their second opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see how Jimmy Barnes comes out after throwing the interception. He just looks nervous tonight, Ron.
Yeah, he does. And Fritz, this is the thing. Los Al's got to decide real quick. Are they going to come out and play like they did against Huntington Beach, or are they going to come out and play like they did against Fountain Valley? Defense right now, what I'm seeing, they're playing great. That was a great defensive series on that play to hold them to only 3 points. But if you turn the ball over in your own red zone to the opposing team, and especially to an Esperanza, it's going to be a long night for the Griffins. They've got to get a drive started here, and Jimmy needs to settle down a little bit and just get his team going.
There's Coach Barnes looking at the play sheet. Fresh set of downs, ball on the 20-yard line, and Jimmy steps in. Going to give it to Josh Jones. Josh Jones with all kinds of running room. Gets out near the 40-yard line. That's what Jimmy Barnes needs. Give him a little breathing room.
Yeah, great play there by Los Al. That was Matt Redden on the tackle there, and I tell you what, I don't know if we have a replay. O-line did a great job on this. Right side of the O-line, both the guard and the tackle pulled and just cleared a huge hole for Josh Jones. Great job on that side.
Clock continues to run. We are at 7:09 here in the first quarter. Why not go Jones again? Slashing in was Mike Stone, number 55, to cut the legs out from under Jones, but still dives forward for a nice pickup.
Yeah, about 4-yard pickup there. Just a nice little delayed handoff on that play. See if the other team is committing their guys to a hard rush and see if you can pick up yardage. I like this mix-up the way that Los Al's doing it right now. Try and keep Esperanza guessing.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 for the Griffins. Jones again going far side. Nice tackle in the backfield. And that is number 99, Aaron Dan, who cuts in and chops down Joshua Jones before he can even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Dan made good penetration on that play, got through. Even though he was knocked to the ground, did a good job of getting a hand around Josh Jones' ankle, managed to drag him down to the ground. Los Al's looking at 3rd and 9 here. I mean, this is a long range. This has got to be a pass situation. So you have to say, all right, time for Jim Barnes to step up and make a play here.
There you saw first-year coach, been a defensive coordinator here for years, Bill Pendleton. And this is what you live for as a coach. 3rd down 9. Skandrick man in motion, and we have whistles and flags flying.
And it's the back judge throwing it, so the guess would probably be delay of game.
Now, one thing we talked about, Ron, last week when you look at the Griffins versus Huntington Beach is pretty late in the season to be having all those penalties. And, boy, you get down to a tough opponent or, you know, even a championship or, you know, division game, and you have that kind of penalties, and you're going to put yourself in a hole that you may not be able to climb out of.
Absolutely, Fritz, and especially a game like this, it's rivalry. This is emotion. I mean, just like we said in the Fountain Valley game, this is an emotion game.
Well, that makes it 3rd and 14. They're going to give it to Jones. Jones finding a little bit of running room, has enough for the 1st down and then some across midfield, and dives down to the 41-yard line of the Aztecs.
Mike Kirshner on the tackle there for Esperanza. Great job by Josh Jones there to get to the outside. Also, great downfield blocking by Brian Gordon on that play. Locked up his man, didn't get called for holding or anything. Los Al makes a 1st down. Nice mix-up on that play. I mean, you'd think with 3rd and 14, you'd be going to the air. Los Al does a little bit of a dive into the line. Jones doesn't see the hole, kicks to the outside, and picks up excellent yardage on that play.
Clock continues to run. 5:27 here in the first quarter. 3-0 Aztecs. And now we have time blown on the field.
Referee's timeout. Okay, probably something to do with equipment on a player because they're pulling a player off right now.
Well, that is Tyler Boblet that comes off, number 54. And it looked like they may have sent in 55 Mike Stone. So we'll get that personnel change handled and back to action.
Jeff Minter in motion.
Barnes from the shotgun. They're going to get it out to Minter. Minter's looking to pass. Gets hit, throws it downfield, and that is in and out of the hands of Jeremy Child, and you have to wonder, the time off maybe made his hands a little stiff.
Yeah, you've got to say, Jeff Minter, it's been a long time since he's been throwing a ball in a game situation, but what a great play call there. Los Al, quick throw out to Jeff Minter. Everyone's going to expect him to turn and run upfield. He's got Jeremy Childs wide open upfield, throws the ball just a little underthrown, but I like the play calling. They're going to make Esperanza keep guessing on this. But the other thing is, too, Esperanza, nice reaction on the play. They didn't overreact. They did have guys back there in case Childs had made the catch.
2nd down 10. Going to give it to Jones. Jones with all kinds of running room, still on his feet. Breaking tackles now, gets down to the 13-yard line. Excellent run by Joshua Jones.
That's Mike Kirshner on the tackle there for Esperanza, along with Mike Davis. Let's put it this way. Wow, Josh Jones picking up just where he left off last week. 7.4 average on his carries. Let's watch the replay on this. Here you see Jones gets a delayed handoff, charges up into the line. First hit by Esperanza, second hit by Esperanza. Big boy up there to hold him up. Then he just starts chugging downfield, runs over the Esperanza cornerback and picks up good yardage, putting Los Al in the red zone.
Why not? Give it to Jones again. Turns the corner, breaks another tackle. Wow. This is the spark plug that the Griffins need.
Steve Kretschmer on the tackle there for, along with Gary Rogers for Esperanza. I'll tell you, Fritz, that was a nice play. Josh was going outside. As soon as he saw the hole, he slipped his shoulder sideways to elude the tackle, got upfield, picked up about 4 or 5 yards on that play. And you don't have to pick up a touchdown every play. Don't have to pick up 20 yards. You pick up 4 or 5, you're going to be a very effective offense.
Well, I'll tell you, you see the development of Joshua Jones. He is becoming a more confident running back. Going to give the ball to, that looked like Jeff Minter. And it gets you a number here. I'm sorry, that's Cortez Rice checks in.
Okay. Tyler Bobbitt on the tackle there. Yeah, Cortez, coaches said they're going to use him for a little bit more in this game. They liked what they saw last game, so they're going to get him in for a few more plays and use his effective size. Cortez is really, he's a power runner. He should be very effective in this situation.
Going to give it to Cortez Rice. Cortez Rice. Oh, what a tackle at the 1-yard line by Mike Davis.
Yeah, great job by Davis there. I mean, he had to use the frame of his to come up and just stop Cortez's Rice momentum. And Cortez had a great head of steam going. Excellent running on his part to get 1st and goal. But Davis, just a great play on his part to come up and stop it.
Well, Ron, our spotter here, Steve Leitner, noticed that Joshua Jones checked out with an injury. He was standing next to the strength and conditioning coach. Looks like he's ready to come back in, but for the moment, Cortez Rice is going to stay in at running back. Jimmy Barnes steps to his right, walks in for the touchdown, and Los Alamitos answers the score 6-3, awaiting the extra point.
I like that drive, Fritz. I tell you what, burned a lot of time off the board. Los Al showed they had good control of the field on that situation, and they're also keeping Esperanza's defensive linemen on the field, getting them tired out, hopefully setting it up for later in the game where you're going to be able to make the pass play more effective.
Brooks Rossman checks in for the Griffins. Out of the hold of Hale, kick is up, and that is good. And Brooks Rossman on the season, 29 of 29 on extra points. There you see it, 7-3, Los Alamitos on top with 3:01 left in the first quarter.
Okay, let's watch replay on that last touchdown. What you see here is just nice decision making by Jim Barnes at QB. Line surges forward, and he immediately shoots to the right side into an A gap, which is the gap between the guard and the center, and finds a little bit of a hole there, dives into the end zone, and scores for Los Alamitos. But I've got to say, Josh Jones, Cortez Rice, Los Al O-line set that whole thing up. Guys, you did a great job on that one.
Well, Los Alamitos answers, and what a great response and a confidence builder for Jim Barnes to move the ball downfield, put some points on the board after throwing the interception.
Yeah, now it's going to be interesting to see what Esperanza comes back with, because if Rossman holds true to form, he should put this one into the end zone, and Esperanza should be starting on the 20-yard line, giving him a wide open field, and we'll see if they use that balanced offense of passing and running.
Back deep for the Aztecs is Mike Kirshner and Wesley Williams as Rossman lets it fly, and that will not be returned as Mike Kirshner takes it, and that'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, excellent kickoff there by Brooks Rossman. Nice and high in the air. Plenty of time for the ball to get downfield. Plenty of time for his guys to cover, but it's all a moot point because CIF says you don't get to run it out of the end zone.
Well, 3:01 left in the first quarter. Lots of scoring thus far, each putting points on the board. This will be a critical drive, though, for Esperanza. Farrell hands off to the first man through, and that is number 41, John Irwin.
Kevin Linehan on the tackle there. A little help from Tom Leonetti. Yeah, that's just a plain old smash mouth run forward play. Nothing fancy on that one. I think that's just Esperanza testing things a little bit. Okay, now we have, let's see, this is interesting. We have Farrell on the sideline right now, so let's see who's in at QB.
Well, that's number 7. That would be
Kirshner,
Mike
isn't it?
Kirshner, yeah. Coming near side. Oh, defended nicely by the Griffins as Kirshner keeps the ball.
Oh, Chris Rados is just having a phenomenal night tonight, along with Antoine Cason. But I tell you, Rados, he has just got a bead on that quarterback and running back on those plays. Cason did a very nice move, though. You had a wide receiver out on him, trying to push him out of the way. Antoine just held position there and actually created kind of just a little bit of a blocking area where the running back couldn't come through. But Rados, great pursuit, nice tackle.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Los Alamitos holding strong. Farrell checks back in. They pitch it to Kirshner, and he is taken down, maybe picked up a yard on the play.
Nathan Quinn on the tackle on that one. Yeah, that's a little bit of a nice inventive play there for Esperanza, but I tell you, I think Barry Scheer did his homework this week. I'm not sure if he slept.
Well, and we know that he takes apart these game films and is known for his scouting. Back deep to receive the punt, standing on his 41-yard line is Jeff Minter. And kicking from his 5, in fact, fields that off the ground. Almost blocked as Steve Bentham gets a nice bounce because that thing was headed for some pretty good field position for Los Alamitos, but Minter wisely watches it roll by.
Yeah, ball ends up on the 26-yard line. I'm not so sure Jeff shouldn't have just called fair catch on that one and tried to go for it because that probably gave up about 15 yards of position on that. And, you know, that's kind of part of where you got to learn as a punt receiver, which ones to try and go for and which ones to let hit the ground. But, boy, Esperanza sure looks like they have great field position against Los Alamitos right now, but by virtue of just a fantastic bounce on that punt.
Well, and Los Alamitos was bringing all the horses in an attempt to block that punt and came very close. So bounce goes the Aztecs' way with 1:07 left here in the first quarter. Los Alamitos going to get another shot at it. They go to Joshua Jones. He bounces outside, all kinds of running room, adding to his average per carry as he is across the 45-yard line.
And that looked like Mike Kirshner again for Esperanza or Steve Kretschmer. Yeah, Steve Kretschmer, number 3.
Wow, Joshua Jones is just having a career night behind probably one of the best blocking games we've seen from Los Al this season.
Yeah, Fritz, I've got to say, the coaches, when they've made that adjustment last week for the Huntington Beach game, I think they've hit on a winner there. Looks like they've got a really motivated group of guys on this line now.
Barnes climbs in under center, fakes it to Jones, going back to the air, has a man downfield, Jeremy Childs. Defending on that was Eric Howell, and actually Howell had better position as Barnes overthrows Childs, and that play all year long has really been well covered. And I don't know if that's just the speed of the defenses, but Childs has not been able to get much of a cushion all year long.
Well, I think what it is that they are playing the cushion on Childs by giving about an 8-yard cushion off the line of scrimmage so that by the time they get deep downfield, they do have coverage.
Jones gets the call. He's been bouncing out near side.
Josh Jones, 9 rushes for 109 yards, runs of 20, 30, and 25 yards, and he picks up another nice one. And Gary Rogers on the tackle on that one. Fritz, you got to like what Los Al's left side of the line is doing right now. They are just collapsing Esperanza's side. I mean, Dan Rollins, Cameron Filkins, they are just monsters out there anyways, and they're doing a fantastic job of blocking down tonight.
Well, Rollins, 6'5", 275 pounds. Cameron Filkins, they brought off of the defensive line last week. He's 295 and 6'5". So you've got two seniors there with a lot of girth to them and some decent speed, opening up some holes. We are at the end of the first quarter. There you see it, Los Alamitos on top by 4. The score 7-3. Let's go ahead and take a look at the CIF top 10.
Well, here we have Long Beach Poly, 4-0 in league, 6-2 overall, followed by Los Alamitos, the absolute surprise team of the year, Santa Margarita. Then Lakewood, Redlands East Valley, then Loyola, St. John Bosco, followed by Servite, Fountain Valley, and then Mater Dei. A lot of Sarah League teams in there, and you got to say, you got to hand it to Santa Margarita. I mean, they lost almost their entire coaching staff. Nobody thought they'd have a chance this year, and yet here they are, 7-1, just kind of sneaking along through the Sarah League, and that's a tough thing to do. Well, I'll tell you what, Fritz, looking at the way Los Al's offense is going and the cushion they're giving Jeremy Childs, my expectation is that the coaches are seeing this and that sooner or later you're going to see Childs run some, quick routes, button hooks, quick sideline outs, something there that uses the advantage of that cushion. Just get him the ball and let him be isolated on a single cornerback.
Well, and Eric Howell appears to be given the job of covering Childs. We'll see how that develops as Josh Jones gets enough for the first down. Only needed 3, picked up 5. In on the stop is Steve Kretschmar and Mike Stone.
Yeah, again, Jones, nice play on that one. Gets just enough of a hole that he can wiggle the hips and the shoulders through. Gets hit by one guy, but picks up another 2 yards. And, that's what they call yak yards, yards after contact. And those are considered important yards when both high school coaches and college coaches are looking at players, because that's really where the second effort comes in from a player.
Ball sits on the 41-yard line. Going to go screen pass to Childs. Has some blocking. Look out. In and covering is number 1, Mike Davis. And 1 versus 1. That was the only man keeping Childs out of the end zone. Nice open field tackle, but not after a huge pickup.
Yeah, let's see if we have a replay on that play. Absolutely great blocking here by Los Alamitos. This is a naked bubble screen. You just get the ball out real quick. There you see the ball thrown to Jeremy Childs, a little bit low, but he picks it up. Now watch Orlando Skandrick just flatten his guy out of the way there. Beautiful blocking by Los Al's wide receivers on that play.
11:27 left in the first half. I formation for the Griffins. They're going to give it to Jones, and great tackle in the backfield by Jason Carl.
Yeah, that's a good effort by Esperanza. You're not going to fool them all the time. They a little bit of a counter play by Los Alamitos there, but Esperanza read it very nicely. Jason Carl gets in the backfield, makes a nice tackle on that play. Going to be 2nd and 13 for Los Alamitos.
Jason Carl, before tonight's game, 56 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 fumble recovery. When you look at the defensive stats for Esperanza, you'll wonder how they could be 4-4. Real solid, but offense maybe the part that's struggling this year. Handoff right up the middle.
Jason Carl again, along with Gary Rogers, the linebacker, make the tackle on that play. I'm not sure that wasn't a broken play.
Yeah,
I mean,
something didn't look
funny.
right. Cortez Rice with the carry.
Yeah, it looked like the lead man coming through was supposed to take the ball and may not have, and so Cortez, took the ball and tried to make some yardage out of it. Los Al now kind of moving backwards. It's 3rd and 15, so need a big play here.
Well, last time they ran it, kind of caught the Aztecs off guard. Let's see what they do here. Nice little slant in, and that is caught. Brian Gordon with the touchdown. Los Alamitos puts points on the board again, and what a great strike by Jimmy Barnes hitting Brian Gordon.
Yeah, great throw by Jimmy Barnes on that one. Hits Brian Gordon full speed, full stride, and Brian Gordon's been showing us this year, just doing a great job of eluding the defensive backs once he heads that yard after contact, yard after catch. Just doing a great job.
Well, that's the 5th touchdown for Brian Gordon. Brooks Rossman in, kick is up, and it is good. So Rossman goes to a perfect 30 of 30 on extra points. Brian Gordon with his 5th touchdown, and there you see Los Alamitos starting to pull away 14-3.
Let's watch the play on this one, on the touchdown for the replay. Here we go. Los Al. Jimmy Barnes just sets up quick. 2-step drop. Brian Gordon on a quick slant, gets by his cover man, and then just absolutely fakes out the other DB, goes in for an easy touchdown for Los Alamitos. Brian's really playing special this year. Great senior leadership being shown on his part. Fritz, one of the things I'm noticing out here, if you remember last year, Esperanza just had an absolutely huge defensive line. I think they must have averaged 270 to 280, and this year they're a little bit lighter, and while they're doing an excellent job, they're really working hard. I'm not sure they've got enough size to push through Los Al's offensive linemen this year.
Kirchner and Williams back for the Aztecs. They stand on their 1 yard line. 10-11 left in the first half. I'll tell you, that little slant pattern is probably one of Jimmy's best pass routes. He's been very successful at it all year. And this one, strangely enough, will be taken. That's Williams. And rare that you see that, where the ball is even able to be returned.
That's number 18, David Kinney, on the tackle for Los Alamitos. Nice job by David. I think that's about the second or third time I've called his name on kickoff tackles this year. Yeah, and Esperanza starting from the 23-yard line. You know, and Fritz, if you think about it, if it weren't for the fact that there was the interception early on in the game, Esperanza really has not moved the ball at all this game.
Excellent point. Stepping in for the Aztecs, Grant Farrell, the junior. And that one moving backwards. Like you say, struggling to move the ball are the Aztecs.
Chris Cherie, great quick step off the line, stepped right between the gap between the guard and the tackle. And this is part of what Los Al's been working on this year, having their defensive linemen play in the gaps and exploit the speed advantage that they have. And Cherie just breaks through, immediate tackle for a loss.
9:41 left here in the first half. Looking over the shoulders there of the Aztecs. Going to keep it on the ground is Kirchner. Kirchner strung out there, picks up a few, gets past the initial line of scrimmage and then some.
Yeah, Dolis, Quinn, Dykes, Chad Dunn on the initial hit there to force him back to the inside. That's a nice little play by Esperanza there. Get a man in motion, moving fast to the outside, try and get him isolated, but good pursuit by Los Al's defensive players. Again, this is one of the things I think that Los Al has had an advantage this year against most teams, is that they really do have very good defensive speed on the entire defensive team. You know, for a high school team, it's pretty phenomenal, actually.
Well, the linebacking core has been awesome all year. Farrell going to go to the air, actually pitches it now to Williams. Williams with a little bit of running room, cutting to the outside before he is run out of bounds by Jeff Minter.
Yeah, nice open field tackle by Jeff Minter, and great pitch toss there by a little shovel pass, actually, by Farrell there to Mike Williams. I'll tell you what, one of the things you can do to negate, you know, a team that's rushing you hard, plays fast on defense, is to use that little shovel pass. Just get a running back right up in that area, give a quick pitch, and he's off to the races. Now, the only danger you have is, and I saw this with UCLA against Arizona, if one of those big boys gets his hands on the ball, you can have a defensive lineman's dream with an interception for a run back.
Ball sits on the 36-yard line. Farrell coming near side, then decides to throw it. That is complete to Williams. Nice little pitch and catch there, and the Aztecs get up near, in fact, over the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Wesley Williams, nice catch there. And Farrell did a great job of rolling out. Again, he's using that rollout to pick up time. It looks like DJ Dykes made the tackle on that play.
Well, and Esperanza putting together a nice little drive with 8:32 left in the first half.
Yeah, you didn't think you were going to be able to keep him down. I mean, coaches must have talked to him on the sideline and said, listen, guys, you know, you can't sit there and just go 3 and out every time. Los Alamitos is going to stomp you if you do. So they're reacting, they're playing, and it is a rivalry game.
Farrell climbs in, going to give its pitch back to Farrell. We saw this last week, one man downfield, and that is picked off by DJ Dykes. Dykes coming the other way, and he is taken down at about the 31-yard line, intended for number 20, Adam Hill, and Matt Gray with the tackle on Dykes.
Yeah, I mean, if you see the replay on this, DJ had this read all the way. Los Al, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, not going to happen. They saw this last week against Huntington Beach. Watch this. Nice little flea flicker play here. And it starts off well. I mean, here you see where the toss back to the quarterback, Farrell, but Farrell really should have seen that he had 2 DBs just standing right there. DJ Dykes starts upfield, and then it's like, no, DJ, go to the outside. Run around the big body.
Well, and they give it back to the running back, Joshua Jones, and Joshua Jones getting up very slowly.
Yeah, Jason Carl and Steve Kretschmer in on the tackle again on that. You know, Josh showed a little bit. Remember that knee last week, Fritz, when he went down on that one?
Well, he's going to come out, and Coach Barnes going to come in and inspect the spark plug, my opinion only, but the spark plug this year for Los Alamitos on the ground, and they are looking at the left ankle.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, Josh Jones, he's a tough kid.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I've known him for a couple of years now, and I mean, he is, you know, a very, very tough young man. See Doc Johnson out there looking at it. Trainers working on it.
Now, in Los Alamitos this year, as you look at the coaching staff in the booth, there's Coach Raylene on the far side.
Coach Mack in the middle there, and then Coach Scully chewing on his sunflower seeds. And then we have Nello Tomarelli, defensive line coach.
Well, I'll tell you, this year for Los Alamitos, as you look at Bill Pendleton, the first-year coach of the Aztecs, Los Alamitos has not had that many injuries. You have, wow, that doesn't look very good.
No, that looks like an ankle sprain of some kind, and he doesn't want to put any weight on it at all.
Looks like a left ankle, but you had Jeremy Childs that was out with a back and shoulder problem. He's checked back in. But for the most part, Los Alamitos has pretty much gone thus far into Week 9 injury-free. This would be a huge loss if Jones had to check out for the whole game. Cortez Rice will check in at running back. And Rice is checked in and out all throughout the year as he is learning this system and learning that Coach Barnes likes him to run upfield as he does there, straight ahead.
Rice picks up a couple yards on that play. Tyler Bobbitt, 6 foot 210 junior, makes the tackle for Esperanza there. Yeah, one thing that's going to be interesting to see here is that, you know, Josh Jones is just a little bit more of an elusive type runner. You know, I'd say he's still a power runner, but he's a little more elusive than Cortez is. Cortez is very much a power runner. He's going to run guys over. So we'll see what happens with Los Al's blocking schemes here. If they try and go for more push and just get the open yardage on the field, and instead of 15, 20-yard gains, you just go for consistent 4- and 5-yard gains.
Well, Cortez Rice, 6'2", 202. Josh Jones, 203 pounds. Jimmy Barnes throws it away wisely. In fact, great play, and Barnes on his back getting into a little pushing match with Steve Kretschmar and Tyler Bobbitt.
Yeah, Esperanza does a great job on that play, bringing a little bit of a linebacker blitz. Bobbitt puts pressure from the outside, and then Kretschmar comes in with a little bit of a linebacker blitz and forces Jim Barnes to throw it away, and we'll have the first punt of the game for Los Alamitos with James Dolis coming on the field.
Well, then back deep for the Aztecs is Wesley Williams. We will try to get you an update on Joshua Jones as soon as we can. But I think we've already seen the effect on the offense with him out of the lineup. Snap a little bit high, and James Dolis shanks it off of his foot. Gets a little bit of a bounce as that bounces back inside down to the 31-yard line. But that is uncharacteristic of James Dolis. He's been averaging 40 yards on his punts.
Yeah, you're right, Fritz. That is a little uncharacteristic, especially of a game of this magnitude. Los Alamitos actually got very lucky on that play that they got the ball down to the 31-yard line. Esperanza could have easily had that ball somewhere around the 40 to 45-yard line.
Yeah, I'm seeing Josh Jones. Looks like they've already got ice on that ankle. But for the time being, it's the Los Al defense that's going to need to stand up and play. Going to give it to the second man through. I'm sorry, I lost control of the ball. That went to Mr. Williams.
Wes Williams on that one. Antoine Cason with a nice backfield tackle on that. Shucked off the wide receiver that was on him and just did a great job of grabbing a handful of Wes Williams' jersey and pulling him down. And Fritz, you know, that really is one of the reasons why schools are really, really looking at Antoine. He has that ability to evade the blocker, and then, you know, he doesn't need to make a big wrap-up. He's got strong arm strength, strong hands. And that's one of the things that when coaches are looking at defensive players, especially cornerbacks, they want strong hands because these guys a lot of times have to make open field tackles, and all they're grabbing is a piece of jersey, you know, part of a leg or something like that. They don't get a clean tackle.
Antoine Cason, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions. Well, that is an incomplete pass. Mike Kirshner was the QB, and Kevin Linehan.
Great pressure on that play, and Dolis comes up also along with Leonetti, puts additional pressure on with a big hit on that play on Grant Farrell. I think he felt that one down into his shoelaces.
Well, actually, Grant Farrell was out on that.
Okay.
It was Mike Kirshner, and it seems
again.
like they're actually rotating them in and out, trying to mix the plays up in this wing T style offense. In fact, I talked with Coach Barnes about why they'd gone to this, and he says, hey, when you have a defensive coordinator running the team, sometimes you run offenses that you know you struggle to defend against. Delayed pitch there from Farrell. Heavy pursuit.
Oh, no, that's not, that's uncalled for on the sideline there.
Well, Dunn appears that he got popped out of bounds.
Yeah, Chad Dunn, Nathan Quinn make a nice play on that. Yeah, that's just a little shovel pass. That was a good thought by Esperanza on that play, because drag everybody out, see if you can do a quick shovel pass to your running back leading up there. But Chad Dunn stayed home, did his job right, and made a nice play. I'll still say, Esperanza, that's uncalled for on your sideline. It's a rivalry game, but, you still have to keep emotions under control. And Los Al does a nice job, again, forces Esperanza 3 and out.
Now Los Alamitos with 2 men back on the punt. That's Mentor. Oh, and what a great, huge pressure, and we saw this before. Huge pressure on the punt. Los Alamitos capitalizing on the poor kick by Steve Bentham.
Well, I got to say, being the father of a punter, I'm not going to blame that one on Benham, since the snapper killed a gopher on the way back.
Well, and the snap was low when it was back at this other end, too. So
that's one of those hard ones where it's almost like, are you better off just kicking it out the back of your end zone, take the 2 points, and then go for the long kick downfield?
Get the free kick, right.
Because in high school, at least you can do a kickoff. Tough call on that one.
Well, Josh Jones still on the sideline as they give it to Cortez Rice. Gets out to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, but great rush there by Los Alamitos to force that one. And, I think that's a negative 4-yard, or no, let's see, he went ahead 3 yards from where he kicked it. That's about a negative 12-yard punt. Boy, that's not a good one in the stat book. Gary Rogers with a tackle on that play. Okay, Los Al needs to establish a little bit of more of a running game on this, because with Josh Jones out, they have to establish enough run that Jimmy Barnes can have the option to throw the ball.
Screen pass to Childs, that blocking again, and it's the same net result. Jeremy Childs inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and again, great play by Los Alamitos there. Give John Hale a lot of credit on that play to come back. Mike Davis made the tackle for Esperanza, but give John Hale just all the credit on that play to spring Jeremy Childs loose. Let's watch the replay here. Again, this is a naked bubble screen. And it's called bubble screen because it's a wide receiver by himself out there, and it's naked because he's got no blockers in front of him. And then, except John Hale comes back, does a good job. And, of course, number 1 for Esperanza goes and forces it to the sidelines.
Cortez Rice gets back to the initial line of scrimmage before he is taken down by a whole host of Aztecs led by Gary Rogers. 4:20 left in the first half. Ball sits on the 4-yard line.
It'll be interesting to see if Los Al's going to call the famous Jim Barnes naked bootleg.
Well, this is about the territory that we've seen it. Looking on the far sideline, Josh Jones is up on the trainer's table, and he's not even giving an effort to trying to work that ankle injury out. Cortez Rice may have picked up 1 or 2 on the play. Helmets flying.
Again, Mike Stone, Gary Rogers, the 2 linebackers, just coming up, hitting the hole hard and stopping Cortez Rice.
Now that brings up 2nd down and 4. Correction, 2nd down and 3. Our spotter is all over. I'm sorry, 3rd down and 4. Thank you, Steve Leitner, for keeping me straight. They hadn't changed it on the scoreboard yet. Los Alamitos is going to burn a timeout in an effort to try and put some points on the board. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Division I passing stats here in Week 9. And there we see Fontana on top, and we talked about it last week. What's up with that?
Yeah, I still can't believe that. You cannot throw in that wind tunnel out there. I'm sorry, it's physically impossible. But he's doing it. I mean, This is just absolutely bizarre. Of course, then Parsons for Long Beach Poly, but when you got a receiver like Jones for Poly, and then Barnes and Farrell, you might as well call them two peas in a pod. Both of them with almost exactly the same stats as far as yardage, TDs, and interceptions. One thing to notice about Parsons, though, look at that TD to interception ratio. That is an excellent ratio.
Very good.
Yeah. But I'm still, Fontana throwing the ball? Well, Los Alamitos here, I know what Coach Barnes wants. It's 3.5 minutes to go in the half. They're down on the 3-yard line of Esperanza, and he's saying, come on, guys, if we go in the locker room up 21-3, this is going to be pretty tough for these guys to come back. And I know Gary Meeks isn't on the sideline for Esperanza anymore, but Fritz, I have a feeling there's still no love lost between these two coaching staffs.
Absolutely not. But a lot of respect, and over the years as we've called these games and gotten to know the coaching staff of Esperanza very well, they shake hands at the end of the game, and there's a lot of respect. And I'll tell you, it's one of the best matchups you're going to see. And official calls delay of game. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, and again, you look at these penalties, just should not be happening in week 9.
Yeah, that is just an absolute execution penalty, and I don't know whether you say that's a coach's mistake or a player's mistake, but boy, that's just a killer.
Well, now that makes it interesting at 3rd down and 8 with 3:31. Does that change the play call? Barnes going to the air, looking end zone, caught, touchdown, Los Alamitos. Jeremy Childs standing all by himself, and there is some upset DBs, most of which is Eric Howell. I don't know if he felt like maybe he was pushed off or what have you, but nevertheless, the points go on the board.
No, Fritz, I saw that effect as the play was developing. This is what I was talking about. They're giving so much cushion to Jeremy Childs. If he does a quick button hook or he does a quick out to the sideline or a quick slant, he's going to open space. And I mean, he did. He opened 5 yards of space every way.
Rossman, kick up. It is good, and Los Alamitos pulling away 21-3. And Ron, good point made. You take away that interception, and very likely there's no field goal there, and this is 21-0.
Yeah. Let's watch the replay on this. Here you see again, just a nice shotgun play there. Good blocking by Los Alamitos. Jim Barnes sees his primary receiver, and you just see Jeremy Childs is just wide open there. Nobody's near him. No one's in the lanes. Does a great job.
Well, and you got a lot of Aztecs looking at each other like, I thought you had him. No, I had him. No, I thought you had him.
Yeah, well, it's got to be frustrating for him.
21-3, 3:24 left in the first half. And back deep is Kirchner and Williams for the Aztecs.
Well, especially after last year's fantastic game with such a tight score that it was the whole, I believe what was it, 16-12 was the final on that game?
Very close, went down to the wire, as so many of these games do. But the Aztecs are going to get another opportunity to try to put some points on the board with 3:24 left before the halftime break. Rossman gets back to his typical kicking game as Williams fields that deep in the end zone.
Esperanza will start on their 20-yard line with a little bit under 3.5 minutes left. Running the wing T, Fritz. I know if this was a Tustin or somebody else who runs the double wing, you'd say, well, boy, you almost don't have any chance of making a TD on this. But Esperanza is averaging 176 yards of passing per game, so they do have a passing attack. Although so far when they've tried to pass, Los Al's done a great job of coverage.
Farrell steps in. Give it to number 41, John Irwin. That goes for a whole bunch of nothing as James Dolis led the defensive attack for the Griffins.
I was going to say Dolis, Linehan, Leonetti, Cherie, Quinn, Rados, Clark. Just about the whole linebacking and defensive line core on that one. But Dolis first one there. Again, excellent pursuit by Los Alamitos on that play. And this comes back to what you alluded to before, Fritz, with only Matt Gray being the only guy on the O-line that has any size. The rest of these guys are facing a real challenge tonight for Esperanza.
Kirchner lines up as QB. Oh, nice tackle there. Coming in back door.
Looks
That's
like
Linehan.
Linehan again, great job. Again, that blasting through on the gaps.
Looks like we may have a flag on the play. That's on the very far side. We've got a flag down. Let's see what the call is.
Looks like it's either illegal motion or procedure against Esperanza. Now the question is, does Los Alamitos want to take that play? And I think they're waving it off.
There you see it is Sal Figueroa takes the call from Los Alamitos and declines that penalty. Ball on the 20-yard line. That'll bring up third down and 10 as the clock continues to run. We are at 2:34 before the break. Farrell checks in. Nice open running room as Kirchner gets the first down. Nice play as you had wingbacks running every which direction as Chris Rados comes up and makes the stop.
Yeah, now that play looked very reminiscent of the San Clemente fly offense. You know, guys running every which way in the backfield, and you're trying to figure out, okay, who's got the ball. Excellent play by Esperanza. You know, that's again where they have to use the speed of their guys in the backfield moving around to try and offset Los Alamitos' defensive speed.
Kirchner in at QB. Fake it. Kirchner's going to keep it. We have a flag on the play. Kirchner literally contained on the far side. Great pursuit by Los Alamitos.
Again, Chris Rados, a name we've been calling often tonight, and Kevin Linehan. Yeah, I don't know if you caught it at all, but their guy in motion kind of started towards the O-line a la the Avengers, and I don't think in Arena League football you're allowed to do that in high school. You know, you can get away with it when you're playing inside on that hockey rink, but that's a procedure call. And again, Los Al saying, hey, we put them basically for no yardage on the play. We'll take second and long. Yeah, I saw them cutting up, and I thought, wow.
Well, clock back underway. We are under 2 minutes. Personnel checking in for the Aztecs. So far this season, the Aztecs have put up 248 points, and actually not bad when you look at the fact that Los Alamitos has put up 247. A lot of those points, though, came against weaker teams. Going to give it right up the middle to Irwin.
Yeah, again, we see Dolis getting off the pile there. Sean Clark came up, made a nice play from his middle linebacker position. Yeah, here's what you see is that Esperanza putting a lot of bodies in motion, trying to confuse Los Al as to who has the ball on that play.
I'm keeping an eye on the far side as we have timeout called. Josh Jones has his jacket on, so the fact that he may return tonight would seem slim to none, and that is going to be a huge loss for Los Alamitos. Maybe not required to put victory in the win column tonight for Los Alamitos, but what you're worried about is next week in postseason. He could have been a huge key. Speculating that he won't be returning tonight, but the concern would be for future games.
Yeah, I would say next week, you know, assuming Los Alamitos wins tonight, and of course it's still a long way to go in this game, but against Marina, my guess would be that Los Alamitos would probably try to rest Josh, be ready for the first game of the playoffs. But you're right, when you see a player sitting on a trainer's bench with jacket on and ice on, you don't feel very good. And that ice, Fritz, I can't tell, I don't have binoculars, but is that ice fairly high up on his shin?
Well, it looks like it's, well, yeah,
it
does.
That's possibly a high ankle sprain. And I'll tell you what, that's a tough injury to come back from. You don't come back from that in 1 week. Let's hope he's going to be all right.
You know, what was very interesting during that timeout is the equipment person came out and gave the Aztec offense wristbands that appeared to have the plays on it. So I don't know if possibly there's a problem there as that passes out to Wesley Williams. It was almost like they needed a refresher in exactly what the plays were, and maybe some of those procedure calls were some confusion on the offense. So I don't know if you caught that, Ron, but they all put on those wristbands with the plastic sleeve on it. I can only assume that has some of the offensive plays on it. So an interesting twist here with the minute 16 left in the first half.
Well, the other thing, too, Fritz, could be is that knowing that Los Alamitos has a fast defense, they could be calling a lot of audibles at the line tonight. And so they want their guys to be able to look at the band and go, oh, okay, that's what this audible call is. But, yeah. Well, there's a better snap.
Jeff Minter take this one on the 15-yard line, and he will get a return out of it. Nice coverage there by the Aztecs, number 91, Steve Downs.
Yeah, great coverage downfield by Esperanza on that play. But once again, you got Los Alamitos recovering the ball off of a essentially a 3-and-out situation for Esperanza. They're going to be on their own 24-yard line. Now, I'm not so sure here that Los Al's going to try and make a big strike downfield. Let's see what happens here.
Well, they've got it spread out 2 and 2. Cortez Rice in the backfield, Barnes from the shotgun, and the Aztecs want to call timeout. And it's almost like they've got a personnel problem there. They may not have had enough men on the field as number 4 is checking in, Wesley Williams.
You got it, Fritz. I just counted them. They had 10 bodies on the field. Boy, in single coverage with 10 bodies, ooh, that would have been ugly, especially since Wesley Williams is a DB. Yeah, there would have been a wide open body. Yeah. Okay, I'll take back that play about going for the deep strike.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, with 1:06 left, you see the Aztecs struggling with penalties. Not that it's going to affect this game, but normally you see at this time of the year these penalties long since gone, and it's a little shocking to me. In fact, even last week when Los Alamitos took on Huntington Beach had a lot of penalties, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it just seems like, you don't expect that the Sunset League has a lack of discipline. I mean, that's one thing the schools in the league are known for is disciplined play. So we know there's some new coaching in the league, but that's still not the answer for it. I'm just not sure what it is.
Well, we've seen before in penalty-plagued years where sometimes even at practice they will have an officiating crew come out just to kind of heighten the senses of both the offense and defense. Barnes from the shotgun. They're going to give it to Cortez Rice, and Cortez just slow getting that first step going as he is taken down in the backfield.
Yeah, Jason Carl does a nice job of slipping through the gap there, and I agree with you, Fritz. He's got to get that motor in gear. He's got to get that ball and immediately just say, hey, step, go, hit hard. And I still think he's trying to play an offense where he's going to have time to look for a hole and then scoot for it. And that's not Los Al's offense, and that's not the way their offensive line blocks.
Back to the I formation. They're going to keep this one on the ground. Gary Rogers in on the stop.
Yeah, 3rd and 12 here for Los Alamitos. My guess is with 23 seconds to go, Coach Barnes is just content to run the clock out here, do the kickoff at second half, and put his defense on the field immediately because they've been doing a phenomenal job.
Well, and if you look at it, with Josh Jones carrying the ball, Los Alamitos jumped off to the early lead and now seems to be sputtering a bit. So with the injury to Jones, we'll find out more about that at the halftime break, but maybe it's good that Los Alamitos got all those yards because they ain't moving the ball at all right now.
Yeah.
And now we have a flag flying, so emotions continuing. That was well after the play. Let's see what the call is. They're talking.
Well, Brian Gordon got into it with somebody, a little shoving and pushing out there. Let's see who it's going to be called on.
Well, I see Skandrick clapping.
Yeah, but you don't know who this one's going to be called on. They could call it both ways.
Well, and you had actually Barry Shear and Coach Barnes out on the field. Well, it looks like the time has run out, so maybe let's see what the call is, though.
Yeah, the referees still have to note this if this is a personal foul.
Well, and nobody
even if it's after the play, you still have to pick up and you have to call this.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
we may not get the call. Well, there you have it. Halftime at the Vet. Los Alamitos on top, 21-3, and it is shaping up to be a typical grudge match. However, Los Alamitos on top. The biggest question, what's going on with Josh Jones' ankle?
Fritz, I'll tell you what, he came off the field. He's moving fairly well. I think what they're doing is they're just going to give Josh a rest for the rest of the night. Okay, let's go to John Bowles down the field with Coach Barnes.
I know. Great first half. Really ran the ball well. Defense really shut them down offensively. Talk about the first half.
Well, I thought our defense did play great. We gave them field position for the 3 off our offense. After that, boy, they had a hard time moving the ball. I think our defense is going to be settling in and be a little tougher on them even, But offensively, we got it going. We run the ball well, and we started mixing the pass up and looked pretty good. There's still a lot of game, and this is such an emotional game, so there's a lot to be played.
It always is. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, John.
Guys, we'll try and get you an update on Joshua Jones' condition. It's his left shin that they had iced down. I just saw him just before we went on camera here. He was running on the sideline, so hopefully we'll see. I don't think he'll be back in this game, but hopefully he'll be all right for the rest of the year. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, John Bowles, and thank you, John Barnes, as always. And John Barnes comfortable with the lead, 21-3. Concerned probably about Josh Jones, but probably not going to need him tonight.
Yeah, my guess is probably, now seeing Josh running off and listening to John Bowles' report, my guess is either a helmet or a shoulder pad to the shin bone. Painful bruise, he'll live.
Well,
you know, in fact, if this was a close game, my guess is they'd have him with the jacket off and he'd be back in. Okay, folks, let's go to commercial and we'll be back with you for the second half.
This edition of the LATV3 Game of the Week is brought to you by the friends and family of the Griffin Football Booster Club. If you're looking for the best barbecue on the planet, you can find it at the Naples Rib Company, serving the Long Beach community for over 20 years. And by
There can be many hurdles to securing a home loan. Credit impairments, income documentation issues, unusual property. At Home Loan Online, we specialize in mortgages with flexible programs and creative options to address whatever financial situation you're in.
At Home Loan Online, we will meet all of your financing needs.
Visit us on the web or in our offices in Seal Beach on Main Street.
by the College Park Mobile in Seal Beach. For all your automotive needs, stop by the College Park Mobile Station. And by
Selman Chevrolet has been North Orange County's volume leader for over 50 years. We start with the lowest prices. We offer a huge selection of brand new Chevrolets and give you world-class service after the sale. Selman Chevrolet on the corner of Tustin and Chapman, just off the 55 freeway in Orange.
by Farmers and Merchants Bank, California's strongest bank. Call today or stop by our Rossmore branch on Seal Beach Boulevard. And by the Newport Rib Company, home of the best barbecue on the planet, serving the Orange County community for over 20 years.
There are people with a calling. Most serve 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. Earning money for college. Protecting their community. In the Army National Guard, you can.
So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part. New research tells us that just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
For more advice on how kids can build strong bones, visit aaos.org.
Welcome back to the Vet. Fritz Pollard, Ron Cluey, John Bowles, 21-3. Los Alamitos on top of the Aztecs of Esperanza.
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There you see your Long Beach Fire Department there on their lunch break. And, you know, one of the things we'd like to say is after what's happened over the last couple of weeks here in Southern California, and when you take 911 into account, these guys do a great job for everybody out here, and it's great to see them have a chance to come out here and watch a little bit of this great game tonight.
Well, there you have a truck from just down the way here. So, as you say, a nice break. It's truck 17. And actually, we see some of the sideline folks shaking hands with the firemen, the thankless heroes that are out there protecting property. And boy, they've been busy.
Yeah. Okay, before we go into the kickoff, let's get some stats from the first half. For Esperanza, 62 total yards, 28 rushing yards, 34 passing yards. Farrell has been 4 for 8 with 1 interception. Number 7, Kirshner, 4 rushes for 22 yards and 5 yards on reception. For Los Alamitos, 217 total yards with 133 rushing yards, 84 passing yards. Jim Barnes, 4 for 9 for 84 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 from rushing, 2 from passing. Jeremy Childs, 3 receptions for 61 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Jones, 13 rushes for 123 yards. And also Brian Gordon, 1 reception for a touchdown.
Well, back deep for, here we have the penalty that apparently was assessed. So that appears that it went against the Aztecs. And then Los Alamitos goes onside kick, and that is fielded by John Irwin. So where we were confused about what the penalty may have been right before half, it would appear that it was assessed against the Aztecs. So Los Alamitos looking to capitalize on the ball position, tries the onside kick, unsuccessful in recovering it. So the ball sits now on the 33-yard line.
Yeah, but not a bad thought, Fritz, because,
No,
I mean, you think about it. So you give him the ball on the 20, you give him the ball on the 33. Really no real difference, especially with Coach Barnes being so confident in his defense right now.
Well, there you have number 7, Kirchner, in under center. They've been rotating he and Farrell as Tom Leonetti is in on the stop, and looks like they're getting more production when Grant Farrell is checked in at QB, but again, trying to shift things around as Farrell checks in, this time at QB.
Yeah, Esperanza picks up about 3 yards on that play.
Going to give it to Williams. Williams coming near side, has a little bit of a crease there as he gets across the 50-yard line, and that is enough for the first down.
Sean Clark on the tackle there. Nice play by Esperanza there to get a good job of sealing off that side of the line on that right side, and managed to open up a lane there for Williams to run down the sideline, pick up a good amount of yardage, and get a first down at midfield.
Now ball sits squarely on the 50-yard line. Important for the Aztecs to come out and put some points on the board as they are trailing. And at this point, struggling to just get first downs, and they've got their first one here in the second half. That is given to Irwin. Irwin with a correction. No, I may have miscalled that.
I think that's Kirchner.
Kirchner, number 7, checks in. James Dolis in on the stop, but still a pickup of 5. And what appears to be the best set of consecutive plays for Esperanza all night.
Yeah, Esperanza doing a good job here of putting a lot of bodies in motion, and Los Alamitos is having to follow them and track them, and there's a little bit of speed on that Esperanza side. They're moving quite well.
Well, Bill Pendleton, in his first year, of course, knows this matchup well. Gary Meek stepped down last year as head coach. This play going for naught, and again, Kirchner wrapped up before he can even get started.
Tommy Leonetti, great job there, shooting the gap between the center and the guard, gets back into the play, and before Kirchner can even do the handoff, Leonetti's on him already. Great play. Another piece of good news for Los Alamitos possibly is that we just noticed from our spotter, Steve, he said Josh Jones is running around in the background back there and maybe ready to come back into the game.
Well, he sprinted out of the tunnel, coming back onto the field right before the third quarter started. Farrell in, going to go to the air, under pressure. That is off the fingertips of John Irwin as Antoine Cason was covering.
Yeah, Antoine was right there. Great pressure by Los Alamitos' defensive line on that one. And once again, Esperanza comes out, gets one set of first downs, but then it's 3 downs and out.
Yep. So the halftime adjustments for Esperanza looked like they had maybe put something together, but Los Alamitos adjustments not too far behind, and the Griffins going to get the ball back. You've got DJ Dykes and Jeff Mentor standing on their 10-yard line ready to receive the punt. Los Alamitos have been putting a fairly big rush on. That goes into the end zone, but this time choosing to hold back, and the Griffins going to get the ball on the 20-yard line. Let's go downstairs to John Bowles with an update.
Guys, good news. Joshua Jones is going to come back. He walked onto the field under his own power. Bruised left shin is the diagnosis from the training staff, but he's going to be all right and ready to go here in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thank you, John Bowles, for that. And as you had called it, Ron, bruised shin, going to check back in. And there we see him go right up the middle, and this is what the Griffins had lost when he was sitting on the sideline, and that is hitting the hole quickly. Moves the ball forward as Jason Carl and Gary Rogers come up to make the stop.
Yeah, and that really is a big advantage for Los Alamitos when Josh is in there. Just moves a little bit quicker, hits the hole a little bit harder, And really, that's part of the key of being a running back, is to give the defensive line the least amount of time to try and make the tackle on you, and then get yourself isolated with the linebackers and the defensive backs.
Jones, Barnes going to the air, gets it out to Childs. Childs sheds one tackler, has all kinds of room. He may be gone. One man to beat, and he's got a blocker. Jeremy Childs cuts back inside, gets down to the 16-yard line, and what a tackle by Gary Rogers, and Jeremy Childs getting up kind of slow.
Unfortunately, there's a flag back around the 30-yard line, so I'm not sure who this is going to be called on. My guess would be this is going to go against Los Alamitos.
Well, John Barnes out on the field, likely bending the ear of an official as Sal Figueroa.
Okay, let's see what the call is here. It's going to be probably holding or blocking in the back.
Well,
it's holding against Los Alamitos, yeah.
Boy,
Let's
I can
watch the
hear
replay
Coach
here.
Barnes from up here.
He's hot. Okay, let's watch here. There we see it. I'm not sure what got called for the hold, because they threw it towards the middle of the field, and I didn't see any bodies in that area, but obviously an official did, so he's the guy that gets to make the rules.
It almost looked like maybe Skandrick was out in the heat of battle there blocking, but I saw no hold there. And possibly it was on the O-line, but that play went away from the O-line, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but nevertheless, it doesn't matter. Josh Jones up the middle. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, no yardage on that play. Esperanza does a nice job there. Jason Carl, boy, we've been calling that name a lot tonight for Esperanza. He's doing a great job at defensive tackle, eluding those blockers, slipping through the gaps. And I tell you, John Barnes is still really hot about that call. And I'm sure they're going to look at it at film tomorrow morning when they're back at the school, and they're going to see whether or not there really was a play. And, you know, when a coach like Coach Barnes calls up the referee's office and says, hey, one of you guys blew one, they do actually listen to him.
Yeah, I hear you. We've heard that before. Josh Jones, a little delayed handoff there, shedding tacklers. Wow. He is a strong, physical running back. We've seen him break tackles all night long.
Steve Kretschmer back there, number 3 for Esperanza, making the tackle on that play. And Fritz, yeah, you called it. I mean, Josh Jones comes in, and it's just a whole different running game for Los Alamitos. Instead of, 1 yard, 2 yard, loss of 1 yard, I mean, he makes something happen on that play, and that's the sign of a really good running back.
Now Joss will be the lone setback. Going to fake it. Jimmy. And that is caught, actually overthrew Hale, intended for Skandrick. Skandrick goes down to make the catch.
Yeah, nice play there, and actually you had both Hale and Skandrick kind of along the same line of throw there, and Jimmy goes for the deeper pattern, gets the first down. Nice job of rolling out on that play, buying himself a little bit of time, and hits Orlando Skandrick for about an 11-yard pass. First down Los Alamitos at about the 46-yard line.
7:08 here in the third quarter. Going to go screen pass to Gordon. Gordon has some downfield blocking and some running room. For he is taken down at the 30-yard line by Gary Rogers, number 93. Also in on the stop, Mike Davis.
Let's watch a replay on this, and I tell you, Los Alamitos is just running the naked bubble screen, just absolutely beautiful tonight. There you see the ball to Gordon, and then John Hale downfield making a nice block for him, and Brian just does a great job once he gets the ball of accelerating very quickly, picking up the first down.
Well, and hats off to some of this blocking by these other players, the receivers, getting downfield, getting a hat on a defender, and really creating more opportunities as Josh Jones is off to the races. He is in for the touchdown.
And there's a flag on the play, and this is definitely going to be holding. There's at least 3 flags in there, and yeah, as soon as he went running by the downfield blocker, the referee was throwing the flag. Oh, that is just a shame because Josh Jones did a great job on this one.
Well, let's see how hot John Barnes is now.
Yeah, it's a holding call.
Well,
let's watch the replay on this.
Yeah, Coach
here you see Jones cutting through right here, just doing a great job running downfield. Watching the blocker set up. Boy, I don't see any hold there. Oh, there we see. Pushing the back there. Looked like might have been Jeremy Childs, might have got just a little bit of a push. But, you know, Coach Barnes is going like, you know what, guys? I mean, the Esperanza player, if he had arms 15 feet long, would not have made that play. What did it have to do with the play? But the referees also are right in saying, hey, wait a moment, the guy might have been there had your guy not been in the way, you know, doing a little bit of a push in the back or whatever. So, tough call on that play. Negates a great run by Josh Jones.
Yeah, Los Alamitos overcame a penalty just a moment ago, and now down in Aztec territory. Let's see what they do now. They're going to go with that bubble screen. Skandrick, oh my gosh, couldn't bring him down. Skandrick off to the races, shoestring tackle, but wow, poor tackling on behalf of the Aztecs.
Very poor tackling. That was Steve Kretschmer who made the final tackle for the Aztecs, but I'll tell you what, they had Orlando Skandrick dead to rights 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And give some credit to Orlando. Stayed on his feet, kept his legs moving, managed to get downfield for about a 9-yard gain on that play.
Steve Kretschmar missed the tackle. And strips and falls, and ball is on the ground. Looks like the Aztecs may have gotten it. Just a bad connection between Jimmy and Joshua Jones, and the Aztecs recover, and Jimmy is down.
Yeah, it took a hard hit. There's a lot of helmets flying in there. Boy, I tell you, let's watch a replay. This is what could kill Los Alamitos the second half. Here you see, handoff to Jones. Oh, Jones just, his footing slipped out from under him just as he came forward. You know, you really can't say anything against any of the players on that one. That's just a bad situation because of the field conditions. And Esperanza gets a nice recovery there on their own 25-yard line.
Aztecs coming right back at it. That's Williams. Williams gets around the corner. Nice pickup there by the Aztecs.
Yeah, great 8-yard pickup for Esperanza on that play. Jeff Minter on the tackle, along with Chris Rados. There's another name we've been calling a lot tonight. Chris Rados having just an absolutely great game tonight.
You know, when you think about the fact that you can have as many as 3 games a week on this field, you're sitting here at week 9, and the center of that field is getting a little brown, and that's right where Joshua Jones slipped. The Aztecs keep it on the ground, goes for no gain as John Irwin with the carry.
Yeah, James Dolis, Nathan Quinn, nice tackles there. Yeah, and I got to say, Fritz, you know, when you start seeing brown on a field like this, it's pretty chewed up because that's actually a Bermuda-type grass out there, and that should bear up pretty well. But you're right, there's probably 3, maybe 4 games a week on this field.
Yeah, you've got Los Alamitos calling it their home stadium, which plays Thursday nights. You got Long Beach Poly that generally is here on Fridays, and then you got Long Beach City. Aztecs content to go pretty much up the middle and keep it on the ground. Fighting for yardage again, Irwin with the carry.
Looks like they got a first down on that play.
You know, when you look at the Aztecs, not a bad game plan, and they've definitely got things drawn up to be successful. But when you look at the underclassmen on this team, you've got 7 juniors, I think was my count, maybe 6. This is going to be a great offense next year with the talent that's going to be coming back. And Grant Farrell, your QB, only a junior. Williams, a junior. Kirchner, a junior. As Kirchner gets the call. Fighting forward for extra yardage.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there, Fritz. I mean, they're paying their dues this year, but they're getting ready for next year. James Dolis, nice job on the tackle there. Nathan Quinn was coming up from behind. Los Al not fooled at all by that movement on that play. And, you know, that's one of the things at Esperanza. You're going to get another year under their belt. They're going to get a spring training session, summer training session. They're going to really get that timing down because the offense they're running right now, the deception is dependent upon the timing of who gets the ball when from the quarterback.
Well, of your 6 skill positions, only 1, which is Adam Hill, is a senior. And then on the O-line, you've got 2 juniors. So this is a team under first-year head coach that is literally going to be returning, and with this offense that they're trying to input, should be well absorbed and internalized next year.
Yeah, Sean Clark not fooled at all on that play. Comes in and just tackles Kirchner hard for a big loss. Again, Great speed by Los Alamitos. I mean, they're just flying to the position and just making nice tackles in the backfield against Esperanza. This has got to be very frustrating, not only for Esperanza's players, but for the coaches, too. In fact, we're looking over at their coaches. One of them just shrugged his head and shoulders and probably to like, well, what do we call now?
Yeah. 2:33 left here in the third quarter. 3rd down and 13. Farrell giving it to Williams. Williams gets some of it back, but not nearly enough for the first down. Jeff Minter in on the stop. And this should bring up a punting scenario for the Aztecs.
Yeah, and actually that was a nice play by Esperanza. That was a good gain. They gained back probably about 8-9 yards on that play. And, of course, now we have Adventureland for the Aztecs because the punter's on the field.
Well,
with 2 very, very low snaps, one that you'd almost call a block, and probably they wish it almost been blocked because there might have been some forward motion on the ball. Let's see what happens on this one.
Well, Bentham going to give it a kick away. That will be fielded by Minter. Minter from the 15-yard line has a little opening straight up. We've got a flag on the play. Minter is going to go all the way. Now let's see what the call is. Oftentimes this is a block in the back. Let's see what the referee's call is. And now we've got Dykes signaling that it is against number 20, Adam Hill. Speculation at this point. Let's see what the call is.
Well, I tell you, Fritz, when you see a flag thrown at that position back there on the field, you know, you can almost bet the farm it's going against the return team. And it looks like it.
Well, if it does, if that goes against the Griffins, as you see, there's Sal Figueroa with the call. That's 3 major penalties on huge pickups. We don't have any replay, unfortunately, of that, but that's the 3rd major play called back, and this being a touchdown, Barnes has got to be frustrated.
Yeah, and you can see DJ Dykes. Okay, now we have a replay on this. DJ Dykes just slamming his fist down in the air. He's very upset about this. Here, you watch the play. There, it looks like clean. Oh, that's what they're calling it on right there. Yeah, it looks like someone got turned around. But you know what? To me, that looked like that the Esperanza player spun around as he was trying to evade, and there was no option for the Los Al player to stop the block on that play. I tell you, Coach Barnes, he's pretty hot tonight, and he may have some legitimate reason to be upset.
Well, ball on the 10-yard line. Barnes going to give it to Cortez Rice. Maybe the thought is get Joshua Jones out. Head 21-3, the Griffins are.
No, there's Josh Jones coming in right now.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to go back to their workhorse. Gary Rogers again on that tackle. I mean, he's making a lot of plays from that outside linebacker along with Matt Redden from the strong safety position.
Well, pickup of 1 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Griffins. Los Alamitos looking to go 3-1 and hold on to at least a share of the Sunset League title. Barnes gives it to Jones. Nice little pickup up the middle, getting a little bit of surge off that line as Gary Rogers again comes up and makes the stop.
Yeah, Rogers having a great night for Esperanza, making a lot of tackles. Although you also have to say, too, is that when your linebacker's making that many tackles, but he's making them 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, as a coach, it's like, well, great individual gain, but boy, oh boy, our defensive line is just getting pushed out of the way. So give a lot of credit to that offensive line for Los Alamitos with Rollins, Filkins, McDaniel, Espinoza, and Maine. They're doing a very good job tonight.
Well, and Gary Rogers at his linebacker position before tonight's game made 83 tackles to lead the team, so he's been busy all year. Josh Jones again, Kretschmar and Redden come up and make the stop, and again you're getting that defensive secondary getting a lot of action. That is the end of the third quarter. Los Alamitos on top, 21-3. Teams will change ends, move the ball, and we will be setting up for the fourth quarter here momentarily.
Yeah, with 4th and 3, with Los Al in great control of the game right now. Defense doing an excellent job. My guess is you're going to see the punt team come on here and see if James Dolis can pop a much better kick than the one that he did last time, get a nice deep downfield kick. Yeah, in fact, that's Los Al's punt team on the field right now.
On the season, James Dolis has been averaging 40 yards per kick. His long is 52, and he has had 5 this year pinned inside the 20-yard line. And not bad for a guy that plays defensive end.
Not bad at all, Fritz. In fact, that's pretty good. Well, right now I'm sure the Los Al coaches are thinking for James that, a 52-yarder would be a good one at this point in time.
Williams stands on his own 46-yard line. And we have flags flying again. I'll tell you what, these penalties are going to cost somebody a game here
in a
closer contest.
This is movement. Now this is critical. Okay, it's false start against Los Alamitos. Oh, now they're digging a hole for their punter, putting him into the end zone.
And again, Ron, it may not make any difference this week, but let's face it, maybe not next week against Marina at 0-3 in league. But, what do you say? You maybe get a second, third, first-round pick to start the playoffs or seed. This stuff will kill you.
Oh, yeah, you think about it right now. Out of the Sarah League, you could be facing an Amat, a Santa Margarita, a Mater Dei, a Servite, even a St. John Bosco possibly in the first round of the playoffs, because you don't know who's going to end up where in that league.
Well, Dolis gets the kick away. Not bad. Williams takes it at around the 50-yard line. Huge pursuit by Los Alamitos, and that is David Kine.
Boy, I tell you, he has just done a great job on punt coverage and kickoff coverage this year. Just doing excellent, work, hustling downfield. And, Fritz, this is the thing. I mean, this is why you see guys out here. They come out, they practice every week, everything else. They're special teams players. They only get their chance maybe 6-7 times a game. But, I love it when a guy comes out here and just plays with passion, because, he just says, hey, I've got my one opportunity, but I'm going to make it everything I can get.
Esperanza comfortable to keep it on the ground. Gets back to the initial line of scrimmage, and that is Kirchner.
Chad Dunn in there. Chad did a nice job coming up from his cornerback position, sealing off the run. Kirchner couldn't go, so he tried to cut back inside, and Chad made the nice pursuit, made the tackle on that play.
Yeah, with another year of internalizing this offense and Coach Pendleton kind of getting his comfort zone, finding his comfort zone, they'll get this offense together. You can bet that. They're going to be challenging next year. Farrell rolling out. That ball out. Not gaining much forward yardage there. Maybe gets an extra yard, and we've got some pushing and shoving on the far side. That's Kirchner.
Yeah, Chris Rados in on that. I'm going to say probably you're going to have Antoine Cason up in there. A whole host of, I see Sean Clark getting up from that area. Just great pursuit by the Los Alamitos defense. 5-6 guys. In fact, as a defensive coordinator, Barry Sherridge has got to be very happy right now, because this is what they call gang tackling. What you want to see. You want to see a bunch of guys on your defense, swooping down on the ball, making the hit on it, because what it shows, one, is you've got very good team speed. Two, you've got a very aggressive unit.
Well, so far on the season, this defense has only given up 103 points. Not too bad for week 9. Huge rush.
Yeah, great delayed blitz by Nathan Quinn on that play. And Grant Farrell, he saw it coming. He heard footsteps, and he just threw the ball away on that. And again, nice play calling by Los Alamitos' defense. You've got good coverage from your secondary, so you can afford to bring in your linebacker on a delayed blitz.
Well, when you look at Grant Farrell's stats, again, 5'10", 185-pound junior, 1,343 yards and 14 TDs, you wonder, with what we've seen tonight, how those yards have been put together. High punt. That is fair caught at the 16-yard line by Jeff Minter.
Yeah, great punt by Bentham there. Put it way, way up in the air. Jeff Minter had no option but to catch the ball, but he makes a great decision there. Go for the fair catch on the 17-yard line. Just take the ball where you can get it.
10:05 left in this contest, week 9. Griffins break the huddle. Barnes from the gun. Lone setback is Joshua Jones. Going to give it to Jones. Why not? May have lost a yard on the play.
Yeah, again, Gary Rogers, name we've been calling often out there, comes up and makes some nice play from his linebacking position. Sees Josh trying to come up in the open hole and just comes up and stuffs it right in there.
Well, and let's look at the number of juniors on the defensive side of the ball. Your defensive end, Tyler Boblet, Aaron Dan Jr., Downs. Then you have Stone, and then Rogers we've been calling all night. He's a junior. Williams. Incredible. Now, Jimmy Barnes throwing it to the photographer on the sideline.
Yeah, give him a little thrill, let him have a chance at the ball.
I think he had his eyes locked onto the eyepiece. That wake you up a little bit, ball spiraling at you.
Okay, we got 3rd and 10 here for Los Alamitos.
Back to the I formation. John Hale, the up back. They're going to give it to Jones. Jones with a little bit of room. Nice tackle by Esperanza. Esperanza
looks
still
like,
fighting hard.
Possibly that was Chad McCoy, number 40 for Esperanza, made the tackle on that play. And we're just playing a little bit of field position game right here. Kick it back and forth, and each side going 3 and out. But, you know, this is a little bit dangerous for Los Alamitos because Esperanza is keeping the ball more towards the Los Al side of the field. And even though it's 21-3 with just under 9 minutes left to play, that's still plenty of time to make something happen.
Well, and with these two teams in the emotion, anything is possible as Williams stands on his own 45-yard line awaiting Dolis' kick. This is about the position he was in last time. Kicks this one on the ground. It will be taken by Williams and immediately taken down, and none other than Joshua Jones. So taking care of business on both sides of the ball. Joshua Jones helping his own cause.
Yeah, one of the things that, you know, people don't really pay much attention to, but Josh is Los Alamitos' long snapper. And so part of his duties is to get downfield real quick on the kicks and try and make something happen off those punts. So nice work by Josh on that play. Gets a nice little defensive tackle credit.
Ball sits on the 46-yard line of Esperanza. Farrell, they're going to go back to the air. Again, throwing into double coverage. Intended receiver there was Adam Hill.
Yeah, and give a lot of credit to Chad Dunn there for forcing Kretschmer to hurry up on that throw on that play. It was a little bit of a gadget play. Chad read it perfectly and just absolutely accelerated into the halfback on that play, forced him to throw early. No opportunity for anyone to catch the ball on that play.
2nd down and 10 for the Aztecs. Last year, the Aztecs finished 2nd place in league play. Their only loss to Los Alamitos. Keeping it on the ground, Kirchner with the carry.
Yeah, Nathan Quinn in there first, and Chad Dunn getting in there for the final tackle on that to bring Kirchner down. Tell you, Fritz, one thing I'm seeing right now, there's a little bit of hand popping and shoving going on down there between both teams. I'm sure the referees are keeping a close eye on it, but especially as this game gets down towards the end, they're going to have to be very cognizant that it's a rivalry game, and there's a little bit of emotion and heated, feelings running between the two teams out there on the field.
3rd down and 9 for the Aztecs. We are at 7:43 left in the game. Farrell going to the air, gets Hill coming back, has some downfield blocking, turning the corner. James Dolis comes in, and there you see that emotion going as Jeff Minter trading vocabulary with Adam Hill.
Yeah, and nice play by not Los Alamitos, Esperanza. The reason why I'm saying Los Alamitos because it was a beautiful slip screen, which is a Los Alamitos trademark. But Esperanza plays Los Alamitos enough over the years that they know some good plays when they see him, and Adam Hill makes a nice run on that. Again, yeah, a lot of emotion out there tonight.
Fresh set of downs for Farrell. Williams man in motion. Kirchner's going to keep it.
Dolis with a tackle on that play.
And there's some more pushing and shoving as Leonetti and number 56. Get you a number on that for
John Hamilton.
John Hamilton get into a shoving match.
Yeah, in fact, you saw one of Esperanza's guys push Hamilton away and tell him, hey, back off. Yeah, it's just getting a little bit ugly. I'm sure the wording in the trenches is not exactly love notes being passed back between both sets of linemen on that. It's never very cordial in the first place, and I imagine right now it's getting pretty just downright ugly.
Yeah, it looks like maybe even the officials were warning both teams to keep it under control.
And you know what, Fritz? They should, because there's no reason to get it out of control at this point.
Kirchner climbs in under center. Not sure if they gave it to Williams or not, but should have enough for the first down. Wesley Williams did get the call. Thank you very much to our spotter, Steve Leitner.
Kevin Linehan in on the tackle for Los Alamitos on that play. Esperanza doing a nice little bit of driving right now, you know, just put a little energy into it, driving forward. Not very pretty plays, but they're picking up enough yardage on each play to keep moving forward and keep moving the down markers. And right now they have 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line.
Farrell checks in. And that is picked off by Jeff Minner. Led just a little too much Mike Davis. In fact, you almost thought that maybe Davis was going to be able to run under that one, but great angle on the play, and probably the best offensive series that Esperanza had all game, foiled by an interception.
Let's watch this one here. Hello, Western Union. That was telegraphed all the way. Jeff Minner had a great read on the quarterback's eyes, just timed it perfectly and comes up with the interception.
Well, that is a shame for Esperanza, who probably, if they just could have gotten a touchdown, would have at least had a little bit of confidence there, as Jimmy Barnes throws it a little too high for Brian Gordon. But for the Aztecs, you figure they just needed maybe put some points on the board and walk out of here with their head high as they get ready for Fountain Valley at home next week. But getting a little too greedy, and Jeff Minter with the pickoff. Jeff Minter on the season already 2 interceptions, so that is his 3rd. Jimmy Barnes gives it to Joshua Jones. Joshua Jones continuing to impress as he breaks tackles, gets out near the first down marker.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Josh is averaging probably 9-10 yards a run tonight, and I mean, he's just doing an absolutely phenomenal job. Adam Flores and Steve Downs there for Esperanza on the tackle.
Ball sits on the 26-yard line.
Yeah, in fact, Fritz, I'm starting to see a few different jerseys out there right now for Esperanza. They're trading in some bodies right now.
Getting a whole lot of Jones, and why not? He has had a wonderful evening.
Yeah, looks like Jones got enough yardage there for the first down. Again, Jason Carl, number 94 for Esperanza. He had 56 tackles coming into this game. My guess is he's going to be close to probably about 65, 66 by the time the game's over. Having a very good night.
5:12 left in tonight's game. Los Alamitos will be taking on Marina next week to finalize Sunset League play. Little reverse there. Orlando Skandrick shedding tacklers, getting a nice pickup, making literally something out of nothing as Steve Kretschmar eventually comes in and makes the stop.
Yeah, and I've got to agree. I mean, Orlando, give him credit for making second effort there and even third effort to pick up some yardage on that. But, boy, Esperanza, that's just horrible tackling. I mean, when you get a guy caught like that where he's actually starting to stutter step in the backfield, that should be a sure tackle for a loss.
Well, and you don't really have that many players going both ways like we saw last week against Huntington Beach, where you would expect in the fourth quarter that the defense is beat down, tired. For the Aztecs, they've got pretty much a fresh crew in there, not having guys going both ways, but obviously we've seen poor tackling all night.
Yeah, again, Josh Jones with a nice run there. Tyler Boblett, the defensive end for Esperanza, makes a tackle. And again, Los Alamitos' line just opening up, you know, enough of a hole. Jones takes advantage of it, goes forward, keeps driving those legs, and even when the guys hit him, he's still falling forward to pick up another extra yard or so.
Coming off the field is Steve Downs, 6'3", 220-pound junior.
Now, it looks like he might have got a little bit of a neck stinger or possibly a little bit of an elbow bang. Can't tell which.
Barnes going to give it to Jones. Jones finding some openings. Poor tackling again. Jones still on his feet. What an effort tonight, man.
Oh, I tell you, there's another flag on here, and I'll tell you what, Coach Barnes is going to go ballistic. Eric Howell on the tackle, and I'll tell you, Fritz, I'm looking at it from here. Hopefully we've got a replay from it on this side. But I'll tell you what, one of the things that the referees in high school have an absolute horrible time of calling is the fact that LaSalle's receivers block so well downfield. Watch this right here. Jeremy Childs there blocking up, locking up right there. Does a great job locking up number 8 of Esperanza. Jones makes a run. The referees call it because why? They can't believe that a receiver can block that well. And I'll tell you what, if you watch a LaSalle practice, you will see how much work they put in for those receivers to block well on their plays.
Well, and you make a good point because truly this offense is so powerful because of what happens downfield. The receivers run great routes. The quarterback generally is very much in sync with the timing. And then, like you said, you've got that blocking downfield. And tonight, the penalties have gone against the Griffins. Not saying all of them have been called in error, but that one certainly seemed like it was off the mark. Nevertheless, Barnes going to the air, going downfield as a man open. Nice catch by Brian Gordon, jumping up over his man, and now we have a flag on the play. And literally beats on the play number 40, Chad McCoy.
Mike Davis coming in there to help on the tackle, and that's going to be a personal foul against Esperanza is my guess. Well, seeing a little frustration there.
That became a jump ball as Brian Gordon leaps up over Chad McCoy.
Yeah, and the referees are signaling against Esperanza on that play. Well, you know what? What a great comeback for Los Alamitos. I mean, there they have a great run by Josh Jones, negated by holding call downfield. And then they come right back with a deep throw to Brian Gordon, makes a great catch, and then Esperanza compounds the problem by throwing a personal foul on top of it.
Ball just outside the 10-yard line, and still waiting for the chain gang to get repositioned. 3:10 left in the game. High formation. Cortez Rice checks in. Cortez Rice hammered right as he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, in fact, possibly if not even a loss of a yard on that play.
Matt Gray in on the stop for the Aztecs. Boy, you really see the difference. And again, you have to say Cortez Rice has been coming off the bench, and you know, oftentimes you see a good running back needing the time to get warmed up. But Joshua Jones runs with a different type of intensity. Cortez Rice still needing to get comfortable with this Griffin system and hitting that hole.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Cortez came from both Loyola and Mater Dei, where the offensive line, you know, it does more of a, you know, position type blocking. They pick out a guy to block, they open the hole on that basis. There we see a great throw by Jim Barnes, and excellent effort by Jeremy Childs for a touchdown on that play. And getting back to it, whereas Los Alamitos, because they run pass plays a lot, they run zone blocking. So it's like you block a guy in a certain area for a certain period of time, then you slip off of him, go to the next guy. And Cortez has to learn that the timing at Los Alamitos requires, hey, you've got to hit it hard because your blocker is only going to be there for a second or two. But great play by Jim Barnes on that.
Absolutely. Rossman going to come out and try and push this thing up to 28-3. Been perfect on the season. John Hale with the hold. Ball is up, and it is good. And Jimmy Barnes gaining confidence. 28-3 as he hits Jeremy Childs. Jeremy Childs dives for the 2 yards he needs. And this baby is done.
Yeah, let's watch the replay here. Here you see, nice job there. Dan Espinoza pulls to pick up the blitz in the outside rush there. Jimmy rolling out, does a great job of seeing an open Jeremy Childs right there. Look at that. 3-yard line, shucks off one of the tackles there, dives forward, makes a touchdown.
Well, and Jimmy Barnes throwing off balance there, making it look easy with 2:08 left in the game. There you see it, 28-3. And again, had Los Alamitos not had that interception in the first quarter, this is a shutout.
Yeah, and I think when the coaches grade the plays after tonight's game, they're going to give a big gold star to the defense in the game tonight. They've done an excellent job. And I have to say also, Los Al's offense has also done a very nice job tonight. Just kept good control of the game.
Kirshner and Williams back for the Aztecs. Standing on the goal line. And Williams will field it, but deep into the end zone. This will come out to the 20, and the Aztecs, with 2:08 left, will have an opportunity to try and put something together. This is, I don't know what you call it, more of a steam builder drive, if you will, trying to put some additional points on the board.
Well, right now, Los Al looks like they're keeping their first-string defense in the game, and you know, being Esperanza, I'm not expecting that Coach Barnes is going to give up much on this one right now.
Aztecs going to keep it on the ground. Kirchner fighting for extra yardage. Chad Dunn. DJ Dykes tackling by committee.
I tell you what, Nathan Quinn gives him a hit.
Yep.
Chad Dunn gives him a hit, drives him back a little further. Kirchner goes back a little further, and then DJ Dykes nails him.
I'll tell you what, there is more chatter going on that field even after that play. DJ was jawing at someone, and this is typical. I mean, okay, the game's over, more or less, and these two teams are fighting like it's all knotted up.
Well, I'm sure, it's a case of like DJ's going up and he's just saying, well, Mike, I mean, how's the weather? How's your family doing? Everything else? Just very pleasant in-game conversation.
Or what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Oh, here's a nice play here by Esperanza.
That's Irwin, the fullback. Actually, when you look at Irwin's stats coming in, 60 carries, 412 yards, a 7-yard average, adding to it there on that carry. And then he's caught 8 passes for 135 yards, but he has been relatively quiet tonight.
Yeah, in fact, that's, I think, the first time we've called his name on a carry.
Well, and the fire department's checking out. They've seen enough.
Yeah. So, but for Esperanza, this is going to have to be a game. They're just going to have to go back and say, you know what, guys, we've got to get ready for Fountain Valley next week. Put this game behind us. Move forward.
Well, coming into tonight's game, Esperanza 1-2 in league, so they will go to 1-3. And that is taken by number 92, Chris Cherie. I don't know if that was picked up off the ground or...
Okay, I've got to see the replay because the guy I was watching, there's a fumble there someplace.
Yeah.
Well, okay, our producer's telling us no replay on that. Chris Cherie, great job picking up the fumble, but we're still trying to figure out who fumbled what, where, and when, because that was a great series of fakes by Esperanza. We think Kirshner was the one who had the ball, but Los Alamitos, again, when you have a hard-hitting defense, you cause yourself some great opportunities out there, and you got to give a lot of credit to Los Al's D. And this is a very tired set of Esperanza players coming off the field right now, very dispirited set of guys. But like I said before, what they have to do is just put this game behind them. They've got to get ready for next week.
Well, and if you look at the fact that Los Alamitos finished number 1 in Sunset League play last year, this was a very, very close game last year. Only loss in league play for Esperanza. They finished second, and what a different outcome just a year later. 28-3.
Okay, now we're trying to figure out what's going on out here because it looks like we've got the defense back out on the field.
So are they going to maybe say he was down?
And they've got a 3rd down marker up over there.
Now the scoreboard shows 3rd and 4. Maybe what they're saying is that Kirshner was down before the ball scooted out, and Esperanza dodges a bullet.
Either that or we missed a shovel pass.
Well, it sounds like they're still sorting things out. 1:06. Sal Figueroa with the white cap on. Going to talk to the side judge there.
Okay, and now also I'm seeing Los Alamitos bring in a lot of new jerseys out here on the defensive line, linebackers and secondary. Get some guys in, let them get a little bit of game experience in a big rivalry game.
Hyman checks in.
Cody Appling. And Esperanza, it's going to be close to a 1st down, but I think they're just short by about maybe half a yard to a yard. And looks like they're going to bring their punt team on. And pretty much with the game in hand right now, my guess would be is that unless Esperanza has an error on this punt, Los Alamitos will field the punt and pretty much just take a knee for a couple of plays.
Well, with 4th and 1, DJ Dykes will stand back to receive.
Well, we have a change up here.
Uh-oh, 4th and 1. Let's see if maybe they're going to just try it. As DJ Dykes jogs back in. And hats off to Grant Farrell and the offensive coordinator. With 18 seconds and a 4th and 1, they decide to play another set of downs.
I don't understand this one at all, Fritz, because, I mean, if you were going to try and do something and say you make a score, I would have thought you would have called timeout. I mean, this game is, for all intents and purposes, it's over now. So I'm not quite sure what Coach Pendleton was doing for Esperanza, because it's going to have no effect on the outcome of the game.
They'll have trouble just getting this play off before the game's over. 2 seconds on the clock. Going far side is Wesley Williams, and this baby is done. Antoine Cason in on the stop, and Los Alamitos posts another win over the Aztecs of Esperanza. And in the year 2000, they created the Millennium Cup, and Los Alamitos will get to retain that cup for another season at the Los Al campus.
Yeah, and I have to say, this was a pretty convincing win by Los Alamitos tonight. We'll get our stats in a little bit here, but Los Al's defense just absolutely suffocating on Esperanza. And again, Los Al's offense able to move the ball with the run, with the pass, and also special teams. Brooks Rossman, great job on kickoffs and pinning Esperanza back every time on the 20-yard line. Just did an excellent effort out there tonight.
Well, for Los Alamitos, they will go to 3-1 in league play, 8-1 overall. Esperanza, 1-3 in league and 4-5 overall. Next week, Los Alamitos will end their season against Marina. That will be at home. And for Esperanza, they will take on at Valencia High School, Fountain Valley, to round out week 10. We will also tonight have the trophy presentation of the Millennium Cup. There you see the final score, 28-3. And although it may not have been the most emotional game or close game, it certainly had all of the enthusiasm and energy we've come to expect. We are going to step aside for just a moment. When we return to the vet, we will have the trophy presentation and interviews in just a moment.
This edition of the LATV Game of